Hey guys, this is our new GTV suggestion box. Y'all should start coming by the GTV room and giving us suggestions every week. Let's see what we got today.
The search is on for a missing teen in Jackson County. 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells was last seen yesterday afternoon around 3 o'clock on Horn Island.
18 years old, a football player with his whole future ahead of him. Last seen on a crowded island on the 4th of July, surrounded by friends. 2 days later, a park ranger found him in the water, just off the same stretch of coastline. This isn't a missing persons case anymore. This is a family asking why their son never made it back to the boat, and a sheriff's department that says it doesn't suspect foul play, but is still investigating everything. Today we're breaking down exactly what's been confirmed, what the family is now demanding, and why this story is getting bigger, not smaller, even after the worst has been confirmed. If you're new here, I cover real cases stories that deserve more than a headline and a shrug. Subscribe, like, and share because we will always bring detailed stories. Let's get into it. Let's go back to where this started, because the ending only makes sense once you understand the beginning. Nolan Xavier Wells, 18 years old, a 2025 graduate of Ocean Springs High School, where he played multiple sports. By the summer of 2026, he was a freshman wide receiver at Southwest Mississippi Community College, a kid with a team, a routine, a future that already had a shape to it. On Saturday, July 4th, Nolan headed out to Horn Island with a group of friends by boat, and I want to be clear about something: Horn Island isn't some hidden, forgotten stretch of coastline. It's part of the Gulf Islands National Seashore, and on a holiday weekend, it draws crowds, boats everywhere, music, coolers. The kind of day that's supposed to end with sunburn and good memories, not headlines. Around 3 p.m., Nolan was seen on the northwest tip of the island, wearing blue swim trunks and sunglasses. That's the last confirmed sighting anyone has of him alive. Here's the detail that changes everything about how you have to picture that afternoon. When his friend's boat left the island, Nolan wasn't on it. According to Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter, from what we understand, he chose to stay there. His mother, Christine Wansley, didn't hear from him that night, and around midnight, she called the sheriff's department to report him missing. Think about that timeline for a second. A group leaves the island, one of their friends doesn't get on the boat, and somehow, hours pass before anyone raises the alarm. To the sheriff's department's credit, once that call came in, this did not sit on someone's desk overnight. The Coast Guard's Sector Mobile received a request for assistance. Just after noon the next day, an urgent marine broadcast went out. A helicopter was in the air. By early afternoon, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office had gone public, describing Nolan as a black male, roughly 6'1", 180 pounds, last seen in blue swim trunks. From there, it became a full, multi-agency operation: the Sheriff's Department, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, the Gulf Islands National Seashore Rangers, the U.S. Coast Guard, and then, a name you might recognize if you've followed disaster and search stories out of the Gulf South, before the United Cajun Navy, a volunteer emergency response group, joined in as well. Boats ran patterns through the surrounding water, over and over. Search crews moved through brush and dunes on foot. Air support scanned the island from above. A command post went up at the Lake Marsh boat launch in Ocean Springs, and it stayed active. And for 2 days, that search came up with nothing solid. Then, Monday morning, at 8:45 a.m., a park ranger found a body in the water off the northwest end of Horn Island, the exact same stretch of coastline where Nolan had last been seen.
This morning at around 8:45 a.m., a body was found on the western tip of the island. Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lind Jr. says the body does match the description of Wells, but official positive identification will be made through DNA testing at the state medical examiner's office.
I want to walk you through this part carefully, because the way this was confirmed says something about how seriously investigators were treating it. The coroner, Bruce Lind, didn't rush to make a declaration. He told local reporters he had no reason to believe the body wasn't Nolan's, but said he'd wait for official confirmation before making it formal. An autopsy was scheduled for Tuesday, July 7th, at the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Coast Lab. By early Tuesday afternoon, Dental records had confirmed it. The body was Nolan Wells. Nolan's mother posted the confirmation on Facebook herself. And if you've ever wondered what grief actually sounds like when someone tries to put it into words in real time, here's how she described it. She said, she and Nolan's father are not okay, that they have so many questions, that they keep waiting for him to walk through the door with his smile and a joke, like nothing happened. I don't think there's anything I can add to that. I don't think there's supposed to be. The Ocean Springs School District confirmed the identification, too. Nolan's high school football coach, Jake Bramlett, released a statement calling him the kind of son, teammate, and student. Every coach hopes to have someone who led by humility and hard work, not just talent. Southwest Mississippi Community College's president said Nolan was well respected and deeply loved by everyone who knew him, and the school brought in counselors for his teammates as they returned to campus. An entire community grieving a kid who was supposed to have decades ahead of him. Now here's where I have to be really precise, because this is exactly the point where online speculation tends to run ahead of the actual facts. So let's separate what's been said from what hasn't. Sheriff Ledbetter has publicly stated he does not suspect foul play. He's also said there's currently no indication of drug or alcohol use, though that's still pending a full toxicology report. The working theory, as it stands, is that Nolan drowned after his friend's boat left without him. Investigators believe this was likely a tragic accident. But, and this matters, not suspecting foul play is not the same as case closed. The sheriff's office has said the investigation remains active, and they're treating it the way they'd treat any other case. They've specifically asked the public for any original photos, videos, or eyewitness accounts from Horn Island that day, and for anyone who noticed anything unusual to come forward. And there's a new development that's raised the stakes on how thoroughly this gets investigated. Nolan's family has retained Ben Crump, a nationally known civil rights and personal injury attorney, to lead an independent review. In a statement, Crump's team said they will not rest until every fact about what happened to Nolan on Horn Island comes to light, and they're calling for the timely release of records, witness statements, and the autopsy findings. That's a significant step. Families don't typically bring in outside legal counsel for a case they feel is being handled with total transparency already. It doesn't mean investigators did anything wrong, but it does mean the family wants independent eyes on every piece of this, and they want it in public, not buried in a file somewhere. There's also something else that's been part of the public conversation around this case, and I think it deserves to be acknowledged honestly rather than skipped over. Reporting has noted that Nolan was the only Black person in the friend group he was traveling with that day. That detail has fueled a lot of discussion online about whether it's relevant to what happened and why. I'm not going to tell you what to conclude from, that I don't think anyone outside the investigation is in a position to. But it's part of why this story has resonated so widely, and it's part of why the family's push for transparency is landing the way it is. So here's where things actually stand. Nolan Wells' death has been confirmed. The cause, pending toxicology and the full autopsy findings, is believed at this stage to be drowning. The sheriff's office says they don't suspect foul play, but the investigation is still open, and the family, backed by independent legal counsel, is pushing for every detail to be made public. Sheriff Ledbetter himself asked for something in the middle of all this that I think is worth repeating directly. Give the family space and time. They're still processing this. So are Nolan's close friends. And investigators are still waiting on full, final confirmation on every piece of the puzzle before anything is closed for good. I think that's the right way to leave this, at least for now. Not with easy answers, and not with wild theories either, just with the facts as they stand, and respect for a family that's living through the worst thing a parent can go through.
I'm here with an update on Nolan Xavier Wells. One of his friends, Javon, had this to say: "Oh boy, where do I even start? Nolan, you were truly a blessing in my life, man. From the day I met you, since we were kids, we just clicked. You always took me under your wing and showed me what a true friendship and brotherhood should be. I'm missing you more than anything, man. You never failed to pick me up if I was feeling down. You always put a smile on my face or made me laugh. You were someone that everyone would want to be around because you were such a blessing. I'll cherish our memories forever. I'm extremely grateful to meet someone like you. Our friendship is irreplaceable. I love you so much, man. It hurts so bad knowing I won't be able to speak to you every day. But this isn't goodbye, brother. This is simply just see you later. I love you, man. Get your rest. I'll do anything to hear your laugh one last time.
If you were on Horn Island on the 4th of July, if you have photos, video, or you remember anything unusual from that day, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you directly. That's not a call for viral engagement. That's a family asking for the truth. I'll keep following this case, and when the autopsy results and toxicology report come back, I'll be here to break down exactly what they say. No speculation, just facts. If that's the kind of coverage you want, hit subscribe so you don't miss the update. Rest easy, Nolan. And to everyone watching, hug the people you love a little tighter today.